What is up, everybody, and welcome to FLW Videos. We officially got an announcement in Pokemon Go for something that is not centered around Mega Evolution Pokemon, so I am very excited to jump back into the saddle of what I normally cover on the channel. We are specifically talking about the prep guide for Porygon Community Day. Now, the reason why we're doing this in particular is mostly because this Pokemon has to have an evolution item to evolve up to Porygon-Z, so a lot of people are going to be curious as to how we're going to be able to obtain those, and then, of course, talk about strategies along the way. If you do enjoy this type of series, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe, but without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the video. So we're going to go ahead and walk through a couple of the features for Community Day, talk about some strategies and additional ways that you can gain some of the resources, specifically focusing on the evolution items. So first things first, on September 20th, this event is going to be 6 hours long from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. And then for 2 hours after the event, you can also continue to evolve your Porygon-2 into Porygon-Z and obtain the exclusive move Tri Attack. So you basically have 8 hours to obtain that exclusive move. Now, as far as the features of the event are concerned, they are once again selling the Community Day box, or what I refer to as the Elite TM box, where you pay $13 for an Elite TM that comes with some other things. Now, unfortunately, Niantic did not get smart enough and include some upgrades and some Sinnohstones. I think if they put like 5 and 5 in there a piece, people actually would be more likely to buy that thing. I think that would add a lot of value to it, but for whatever reason, Niantic kind of missed out on that. Who knows? Maybe they'll end up adjusting it by the time it gets here. Secondarily, though, as far as the special research is concerned, they did decide to put in a lure, or not a lure, put in an upgrade as well as a Sinnohstone, and of course, we'll talk about that when we talk about how to obtain those different evolution items, but I just find it odd that they did decide to put it in the special research, but did not put it in that one-time Community Day box. I think it's a missed opportunity for sure. So anyways, if we go ahead and move on to the rewards, in my opinion, a little bit weak on the rewards. I'm not as big into XP, but for any newer player out there, if you're trying to chase XP, get yourself up to level 40, this is going to be a huge opportunity, and you definitely want to make sure that you are using lucky eggs if you have them throughout the event. Go ahead and get as much out of the time as you can throughout the Community Day event and get yourself up to level 40. So anyways, when we go ahead and talk about the Porygon family, this is, to some extent, one of the more expensive families from a resource perspective. So a couple of things kind of going on. Number one, I mean, for me, Porygon has been fairly rare. I don't have a lot of candy, and I don't have a lot of them evolved up to Porygon 2 or Porygon-Z simply because I just haven't had a lot of access to the candy. Maybe you're in the same situation. I know some cities just tend to get a ton of them, so maybe you're not. But regardless of that, when you talk about the evolution item requirements, this Pokemon literally requires 2 different evolution items to evolve up to the final form. You need the upgrade, and then you need a Sinnohstone. So that's just crazy to need 2 of those, but this Pokemon is fairly expensive, so you would expect that Niantic is going to give us multiple ways to be able to obtain these different resources, and they do, but in my opinion, I don't know if it's enough, so we are going to have to add on some additional features or additional tips for you to get some besides what Niantic has just given to us. So let's go ahead and talk about that a little bit. Now, the first thing that we can mention is an event that's going to happen called the Mega Battle Challenge. Now, for this Mega Battle Challenge, if you go in there and do the timed research during this event, you are going to get a single upgrade and a single Sinnohstone for completing that timed research. That seems so low. 1 upgrade and 1 Sinnohstone, as far as their text is concerned. Who knows, it could end up being 2, could end up being 3, but as far as what I'm reading and what they're stating, 1 upgrade, 1 Sinnohstone, just a single stone, which is just interesting. And then secondarily, we do have something that is specifically mentioned on the actual Community Day. So as far as prepping is concerned, technically not going to be prep because it's going to be happening during Community Day, but basically what's going to happen is trainers are going to be able to earn 3 upgrades and 3 Sinnohstones by completing timed research tasks that are going to be happening during the actual event. So during the event, you will get 3 apiece. But then secondarily, when you start talking about that extra Community Day ticket for the special research, so the $1 one, you also end up getting an additional upgrade as well as a Sinnohstone by completing that special research. So as far as what Niantic has offered you, if you end up spending that extra $1, as far as all of this is concerned, at most you're going to end up getting 5 apiece, 5 upgrades, and then of course 5 Sinnohstones. And you may be saying to yourself, well, I plan on evolving like 10 of them or 15 of them. this is not going to cut it. Well, this is where the whole prep comes into play, because we're really going to have to kind of be a little bit more intentional about how we obtain these different evolution items. So first things first, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the upgrade, because that's going to act a little bit different than the Sinnoh Stone. So as far as the upgrade is concerned, one consistent way that you can just cross your fingers and hope that you end up getting an upgrade, you just have to do your 7-day streaks. And on the 7th day, you'll end up getting an evolution item. So you sort of have to cross your fingers and hope that you end up getting this upgrade versus any of the other ones. But secondarily, I think just spinning Pokestops in general is a good idea if you possibly can, because I can't tell you how many times I've gotten a random evolution item just dropped from a regular Pokestop spin that was not on a 7-day streak. So spinning Pokestops, getting your 7-day streak, and simply spinning Pokestops, maybe you end up getting lucky. You could potentially get yourself some additional upgrades. Now, secondarily, when we talk about the Sinnoh Stone, I would hope that people probably more likely have these Sinnoh Stones since they apply to just a ton of Pokemon. Hopefully you do have a bunch, but if you don't, it may be smart to go ahead and do some PvP battles. And as far as the random rewards are concerned, you may get a TM. Hey, everybody's happy with a TM. But then secondarily, you could end up getting yourself a Sinnoh Stone, which I think a lot of people are going to go for. I've got like 70 of them, so I'm personally not as worried about that. But I am very worried about the upgrades, because I can't tell you how many I've transferred just to give myself some bag space over time before we even knew that Porygon was going to end up being a Community Day exclusive Pokemon. So hopefully that helps you. Hopefully that gives you some information for what you're kind of looking for. And just to go ahead and finish this, just to give you a brief look at, of course, what we will cover on the deep dive. If you want to take a look at the stats in particular, its attack stat is pretty good. It's one of the best normal type Pokemon as far as its attack stat is concerned. So there's definitely a little bit of hype there. We're going to have to see exactly how Tri-Attack ends up being put into the game. And as far as the stats are concerned, if that Pokemon is going to be effective. It does have a low defense though, so it's definitely going to act a little bit like a glass cannon. But at the end of the day, that doesn't mean it can't be effective. It can still be effective. It just may have to be used in very limited ways. Let me know, are you excited about the Porygon-Z? Let me know in the comment section below, and I will see you next time. Huge shout out to the supporters over at Patreon. If you would like to get exclusive perks, make sure to check out that link in the description, and I will see you next time.